Starting the Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tech News Weekly. I'm your host, Andrew Zarin. Of course, I'm joined by Mr. John Bub. How you doing, John?
Hey, Andrew, what's up?
Nothing much. We are in the middle of a heat wave here in New York. I don't know about you in Michigan.
Yeah, you're getting the weather that we had like 2-3 days ago.
Man, it is 75 degrees here. It's almost like summer. It's beginning of September
We
again.
broke records. Like we got almost to 80 degrees a couple days.
That's
and
crazy.
we broke records for November.
Yeah, and you're a little bit more north than I am, so
Yeah.
you should not be getting this kind of weather at all.
No, not in November, but I'll take it.
Yeah,
Definitely love it.
Yeah, I think we'll all take it at this point, right?
I mean, knowing what's coming in the next couple of months, I will take every day above 60 degrees that I can get.
Yeah. I think that's all of us at this point. We have so much to talk about. A lot of controversy surrounding OneDrive. Yesterday, Paul and I did What the Tech, and we discussed OneDrive, and we discussed some of the changes that were happening. It got picked up on a couple of websites, actually, and there's a lot of buzz over what they're doing with their storage. There's also a lot of other news. Time Warner Cable offering internet-only TV here in New York, which is a big sigh of relief for a lot of people that are on a budget and they're trying to cut their cord. Before we get into this week's news and the news of the last week, because we were off last week, I want to talk about our sponsor, a great sponsor to the network and, of course, to the show, and that's Braintree. Guys, if you are a business or you're a developer and you're developing an app for a business, you have to listen to me for the next couple of minutes, guys. So just listen to me, and you're gonna learn something from this. One of my good buddies here in New York, he has a clothing brand, a very localized clothing brand that has taken off. Scott, I don't want to mention names. I don't want to put him on the spot, John, but I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
Okay. His business has taken off, and right now, the way that he's doing his mobile payments, it's really convoluted. He has like 3 different sites that his merchandise is on, all going to his site. He's accepting PayPal. He's accepting a different payment method. People are able to call him and they pay. So it's all over the place. And he heard me talking about Braintree on how it's a full stack payment solution. It's a one-stop shop if you're a business. So you could accept PayPal, which is Braintree is a PayPal company, PayPal, Apple Pay, Bitcoin, all different major credit cards, all different payment methods. It has unbelievable fraud protection. So the way that it works, if you're a business and I'm the customer and I give the credit card information to you and you're processing it with Braintree, you are given a token. So if your data is compromised on the business end, guess what happens, John?
What?
As the customer, my information is not compromised because it validates based on a token system.
That's fantastic.
Extremely fast payouts for the customer, for the vendor, for the merchant, which is really important. And if you are thinking about implementing something like this, if you're thinking about implementing Braintree, listen to this great deal they have for you. Your first $50,000 in transactions are fee-free. Only if you go to BraintreePayments.com/TNW. That's BraintreePayments.com/TNW. This is great stuff. I mean, John, you're a developer. You're a web developer. You develop apps. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to use to implement this, right? I mean, we don't do any kind of payment systems. We don't accept payments from people. We don't really sell anything on our website. But this is something that you would definitely consider implementing if we had an app or a mobile payment system that we needed to use.
Yeah.
We've spoken about this tons of times. Companies like Uber, Airbnb, Hotel Tonight, Living Social, the list goes on and on. These are all companies using this. And by the way, it's PayPal, so you know they know what they're doing here. BraintreePayments.com/TNW. Get your first $50,000 in transaction fees free. You know, I could sit here and read the copy for you guys, or I could talk about a real situation, a real conversation that I had. And I just had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, about a month and a half ago with this guy, where he was like, hey, listen, I heard you talking about this. Is it really that good? And I go, absolutely. Almost everybody that has purchased this, that has emailed me, has all said, almost 99.9% of people that have emailed me saying, you know, that have used this have stuck with them. Maybe one or
That's
two.
amazing.
I think I got one email from a guy that said that he implemented it and the person ran out of money to further develop the app. So he's like, I really wanted him to use this, but he killed the project. So that's the one instance that it didn't launch and they didn't stick with it, but almost every single vendor has stuck with this, and that speaks volumes, for a company like this. BraintreePayments.com/TNW. I want to thank Braintree, a PayPal company, for supporting TNW, What the Tech, and of course the rest of the shows here on the GFQ Network. John, let's get to the nitty gritty here, huh?
Yep, let's do it.
OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive, last year, if many of you remember us talking about it, they did this unbelievable unlimited storage plan, and it was kind of convoluted the way that they released it. Some people had a terabyte, some people had 10, but as far as I know, I think it was up to 75 terabytes of data that they were going to storage, which is technically unlimited.
What the article said is that Microsoft said that there were some users using 75 terabytes of data.
Some users were, okay.
Yes.
I guess that's the max that they had currently in their
Yes.
data. Okay. So some users were using 75 terabytes of it. This was how it worked. And these are the affected changes now. If you have Office 365 Home, Personal, or University, customers are now going to be limited to 1 terabyte of OneDrive storage instead of unlimited storage. The 100 gig and the 200 gig OneDrive plans are now discontinued. They've been replaced with a 50 gig plan for $199 per month starting in early 2016. Free storage is, and this is the big problem here. Forget about having 75 terabytes. Forget about the 1 terabyte. That's still a real small percentage of people that are using this. But here's the big deal. The next two things I'm going to mention. Free storage is now going to be reduced from 15 gigs down to 5 gigs, which is awful, in my opinion. And the camera roll bonus of 15 gigs is going to be discontinued. This sucks.
That's putting it right out there.
Okay.
I was shocked yesterday during What the Tech how many people were actually upset by this. I knew it was a bad story and a bad move by Microsoft, but I was surprised by how many people were genuinely upset by this.
You know what, though? I understand. Here's my issue with this. Listen, I'm a heavy user of this stuff, right? Like, I'm an exception. Yeah. John is an exception. Many of the people that are complaining about the 1 gig or the lack of unlimited, those people are in the minority here. Maybe a very small fraction of the user base of OneDrive is using that much data. But where it really will impact people is the camera roll bonus of 15 gigs, which if you have a Windows phone, this is insane that they're not going to be giving you 15 gigs for your storage bonus. 2, reducing the 15 gigs down to 5 gigs is awful. 5 gigs is nothing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's really astonishing how they cut it tremendously. I mean, I would have expected them to keep the 15 gigs of free storage and then gone based on that. If you needed more, obviously you pay more. But
they did this in the worst possible way, I think. On one hand, I think a lot of people can understand that unlimited is just completely unsustainable. Nobody realistically expects unlimited anymore. Everybody knows that whenever somebody says, oh, yeah, we're going to give you unlimited bandwidth, we're going to give you unlimited storage, we're going to give you unlimited this. And people, I think, are wise enough now to know that that's pretty much misleading and that's a lie. That's never going to happen. So I don't think anybody's upset that they're taking away unlimited storage and leaving you with at most 1 terabyte of storage on OneDrive. I don't think anybody's really upset about this. What's really upsetting is the rest of it, the stuff that they did to everybody else. And this is just what I don't understand.
Well,
because
the 15 gig
it doesn't
one,
seem like it doesn't seem like this should have been an issue whatsoever. Everybody understands unlimited storage. People that are storing terabytes upon terabytes of data are the people that are really misusing the service. Most people don't use that. But the fact that they're going to reduce the free storage from 15 gigabytes to 5 gigabytes for all users and discontinue the 15 gigabytes of bonus storage for your camera roll, those are the two biggest issues that I have with this. Because when I go in and I look for some place that I want to store data, quite frankly, I want at least 10 gigabytes for free.
Okay, so let me ask you
this. If
you
can't even offer me that, then I'm going to completely pass on your service.
What are your options now as far as a free solution? It seems like Flickr would be the best solution right now.
If you are mainly photos and videos, Flickr is a great option because they give you 1 terabyte of free storage for your photos and videos, and it'll be full resolution of whatever you upload to Flickr in full resolution.
Yeah.
You have up to 1 TB of free
Yeah.
storage for that sort of stuff.
Google, I believe, does 15 gigs of free storage, but that's for.
But they also offer more plans besides just 50 gigabytes for 199 like Microsoft is doing. Which is the other odd thing is that if you want more storage, you either A, can only upgrade to a 50 gigabyte plan for $2 per month, or B, spend $70 a year or whatever it is for Office 365. So you don't have very many options there if you need more than 5 gigabytes of data. It's either $2 per month for 50 gigabytes or $70 a year.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like a very good way of doing this.
No.
They just kind of pulled the rug out of a lot of people's, and I know everybody says, well, most people only use, a minuscule amount. They probably don't even need 5 gigabytes of storage for whatever they're doing.
Yeah, but here's the problem, okay? I'm going to give you a great example of 5 gigs, limited storage like that for a free backup solution. Almost everybody that I know that has had an iPhone for the last couple of years, guess what's happening now? Their photos can't be backed up because they've maxed out their iCloud accounts on the free, the free storage. The free storage that they were given. I don't know if they...
Well, because it's all used for backing up your phone. And you can easily use 5 gigabytes for that.
Yeah, what are they at now? Did they upgrade their free storage now? Or is it still 5 gigs? I think it's still 5 gigs.
I think so, too.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
I think they offered more plans, but it's still, why only 5 gigs? The fact of the matter, though, is that
each photo, John, if you take a photo with great lighting, it's like 7 megs.
But that's just the thing. I think there's way more people out there now that are using their phone and that know you can back up your photo because we have, 32 or 64 gigabytes of data on our phone that we can use. So we're syncing our phones, our photo libraries with some sort of cloud storage service.
Yeah.
And if you've had your phone, 3-4 years, you've got probably 15 gigabytes of photos and videos.
And I'll tell you, like, if you use, let's say I use like a Dropbox, right? It doesn't automatically work all the time for me on my phone. It's on the iPhone. It does. I don't think
that's the problem I had with iCloud is that it was very unreliable. And it didn't sync the videos. It only synced photos.
Yeah.
Which is why I switched to OneDrive, because OneDrive would sync both my photos and my videos to OneDrive, and I could access all of that. And it was so easy to use.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't
now
know what
it's
the
like,
solution
okay,
is
well,
now.
if I didn't have Office 365, this service is completely unusable to me unless I pay $199 per month, which I don't know that I want to do that because I can go and look at other options.
What
Flickr
Paul
has an app.
said, like I have Office, Office 365. If I made an email account for you and associated my Office account, now you could get the 15 gigs or whatever. No, the 50 gigs. No, you still get a terabyte. Now you get a terabyte. If you go create an Outlook email account and then I'll link it to my Office. And now you could get a terabyte, right? That would be like an option that Paul said yesterday.
Yeah,
which I don't know if people are going to be willing to do that. I mean, does everybody want an Outlook email account? I don't know.
Or like you said, why didn't Microsoft grandfather people in?
I think they should have just grandfathered the people that already had it in.
Anybody that had 15 gigabytes of free storage should have been grandfathered in. Period.
Yeah. I'm also shocked that this was a financial decision. The accounting team, the financial team came and looked at what they're spending on storage and what everybody's doing, and then they ended up killing.
Which is what, in my opinion, it almost feels like Microsoft is pissed at there's these users, some users, not a lot of users, but some users. There's always going to be some users that have massive amounts of data that they want to store online. But then they come out with the other saying that, well, when we did an audit of all of our users, we found that the majority of users use less than 5 gigabytes. Well, then why? Why did you take away 15 gigabytes?
Yeah. Just let it say a 15 and kill the top end. That's what I understand them limiting the unlimited. I understand that to an extent, right? I understand them limiting the 1 terabyte instead of unlimited. I understand them changing to 100
Absolutely.
and gig plans down to 50 for 199. I kind of understand that. What I don't understand is the lower end entry, package of 15 gigs. Why remove that? Why hurt those people? That's what bothers me. It really seems like it was not a well thought out decision. It doesn't seem like it's a user, someone that deals with the user base and they're, someone that deals with accounts that it's doing this. This purely does look like a financial decision. It looks like a financial team came in and said, no, well, this is what you have to do. And someone said, okay, I guess that's what we got to do.
I'm a little shocked because Microsoft has actually been very good lately of listening to users and what they want, and this seems to be very opposite of what they've been doing lately, where they haven't been listening to users, and actually the backlash that they're having here is interesting to me because this is something that they easily could have smoothed things over with and grandfathered some people in or does something differently. It's just the way they've handled this is not the Microsoft that we've been seeing of late.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. Hey, John, before we go on to the next topic, I want to take a moment and remind everybody, if you want to help the GFK network out, you want to support us, you want to keep us going the way we're going. Actually, we're doing some major upgrades here to the studio. We're going to be adding a 1080p stream. We're going to be adding 1080p video. I'm building a new production machine here, so a lot of the workings around here in the studio is going to change over the next couple of weeks. But if you want to help us out in some way, you can do so by using our Amazon link. The holidays are here. The holidays are almost on their way. Thanksgiving is a couple of weeks away, and next thing you know, it's back to school. It's Black Friday and Christmas and back to school, and we start all over again. So if you want to help us out during these times, you could do so by going to gfq.co/Amazon. That's gfq.co/Amazon. Bookmark that. Save that in your toolbar, in your bookmarks bar, on Chrome, whatever browser you're using, and whenever you make a purchase, click on that link, and we get a tiny little credit from every sale. It really helps us out over the holidays. You guys buy a lot of stuff, and it's a tremendous help here. Every time we need to buy something, every time we need to upgrade something, guess what? That's the amount that we're getting. The small percentage that we get from each of those sales, it's what's going right back into the studio. Or if you want to help us out monetarily in some way, it doesn't matter what it is, a nickel, a dime, a quarter, $1, $2. You can do so by going to patreon.com/whatthetech. That's patreon.com/whatthetech. Fund us, and you get access to the What the Tech bonus show. It's called What the Talk. We recorded live each and every week following What the Tech. I guess those are the only ways. And, of course, PayPal donations are welcome also. You can PayPal us something if you want to do that. John, let's talk about Comcast. You're a Comcast user, and they're doing something bizarre here. They're offering unlimited data for an extra $35 a month. So Comcast is rolling out an unlimited internet plan for $35 a month. This means the add-on gets rid of those pesky 300 gigabyte monthly data caps that have been put in place in Miami, Atlanta, Nashville. If enough people in these cities opt to get rid of bandwidth caps, then the offer could potentially see a bandwidth cap placed on all data plans across the country.
Right. So right now we have, in most places other than these test cities, they have what's called a soft cap, where yes, they say that 300 gigabytes or 250 gigabytes is about where we have the cap set up. But if you go over this, we're not really going to do anything about it.
Are we talking download or upload?
Most places this isn't an issue yet.
John, when we talk about these caps, are we talking about downloads or are we talking about uploads?
You're talking about everything.
So
download, upload, your entire bandwidth, whatever you use per month, upload and download.
So if I watch Netflix all day long,
yes,
I'm going to run through this data cap really quickly.
Potentially, yes.
Especially yes.
If you're doing HD,
yeah, 1080p.
HD.
Yeah, if I'm doing 4K Netflix? I'm just watching House of Cards over and over again. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, my whole problem with this is that it's $35 a month to remove this data cap, and I think that's a little bit extreme. I think that's a lot of money to remove a download cap or bandwidth cap. Excuse me. And I know they want to make money. They want to recoup lost revenue from people that are cutting the cord and everything, but this just seems kind of. We've had these discussions before with people that don't like these data caps, especially for cable networks like this, where you're at home. It's not like there's congestion or that much congestion that you have to worry about. It's not like they don't have the bandwidth for this. They've got the bandwidth for this. It's easy, but they're just artificially telling you, okay, well, your data cap is going to be 300 gigabytes. And that just seems kind of low compared to a lot of the things that people do. And again, this also goes back to, well, only a few users will ever use more than 300 gigabytes of data. But there's going to be those users like myself that have somewhat of a home business that they need this data for, and $35 a month to remove that is a lot of freaking money.
Are they doing this for business accounts as well?
Business accounts don't have a data cap.
So would you be better off getting a business account than getting this account?
Absolutely not.
No. Why?
Because you're going to pay a heck of a lot more
Wow.
for a business account. I don't understand Comcast reasoning for their prices for businesses, because you're going to pay at least $70 more for the equivalent of what you've got now.
Yeah.
And even that, well, it's just insane, because they're going to offer you something that's going to be almost 2 to 3 times more expensive, but less speed.
Yeah, that's
than what
not...
you would get if you were a home user.
I mean, I guess if you want them off your back and you're downloading that much and you're using it that much, you're going to say, okay, you know what, let me pay the $35 because you really don't have...
$35?
Yeah, but what else is your option?
I could understand maybe if it was 20 or at most $25, but once you cross that more than $25 price, that is going to make me take a second look at whether or not I really want to do this. I could see, maybe $20 or $25, people would probably do that, but at $35, that's just way too much for me to consider doing that.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What's your option if you don't do it?
You don't have one.
You really don't have one, so you kind of have to do it.
Oh, in most places, if you want high-speed internet, Comcast is it.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't have an option. So if you're one of these people that's violating this,
they're going to find that this does not work. I'm really hoping for that.
That people are not willing to pay the $35.
This is a bad deal.
Oh, it's an awful deal. It's awful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really bad. Time Warner Cable, on the other end, will be testing internet-only TV in New York City. If you want cable TV without the cable box, Time Warner Cable may have something for you soon. A reliable source, which is, I guess, Engadget, reported this. And what was a reliable source for Engadget? I don't know. But a reliable source for Engadget stated that tells Engadget that starting Monday, Time Warner Cable will beta test a new version of the Time Warner Cable.
That is
this week.
Or next week.
For next week. A new version of Time Warner Cable TV service made available for the company's internet-only customers living in New York City. It will support a number of hardware platforms, but the plan will focus on streaming TV through Roku boxes, and any other participant will also get... Oh, wow, this is awesome. If you want to participate in this, you get a free Roku 3.
You suck at reading this, by the way.
Yeah, I just read it. I just saw that part. On top of the internet service, customers could pick a starter TV package for an extra $10 a month. So they're testing this out to see, hey, maybe this is how we get people back. What's the rate going to be for this? How much are they going to charge you a month for this?
So let me look at this. It's a little convoluted, and it takes a couple of reads to figure this out. So if you're a Time Warner customer that has internet only, customers can pick up a starter TV package for an extra $10 per month. But there's also another option that adds Stars and Showtime that'll be available for $20 per month.
Yeah.
And for those who want all of the usual channels but without a cable box, there's going to be a standard option with both Showtime and Stars that costs $50 per month. And judging by the usual cable packages, starter customers will receive about 20 channels, and the standard package will have more than 70.
Yeah. What do you think of this, Sean? $10 a month, you got a starter package? What do would you be interested in that?
It's interesting, and to me, it really comes down to the channels that they're offering. If it's the channels that I'm interested in, then yes, I'm interested in this. If it's not the channels that I'm interested in, then I don't care.
Okay, let's see. 20 channels, you said, right?
For the standard,
yeah,
the starter customer package.
The starter package, here's the 20 channels. ABC, CBS, C-SPAN, C-SPAN 2, C-SPAN 3, CW, Educational Access, Vine Live, Fox, Galavision, Government Access, HSN, Music Choice, NBC, PBS, Public Access, QVC, Shop NBC, TBN, TBS, Telemundo, Time Warner Cable News, Univision, and WGN. So there is nothing here. with this. So if you
Pretty
want the standard package, which is 70 channels, this is almost everything that you would normally get. So you get Discovery, you get USA, you get Fox Business, all the news channels, MTV, all the Viacom stations, Spike, TBS, pretty much everything.
Yeah, that starter package only has about 6 channels that I would watch out of the 20.
Yeah, so you would want to pay, how much was it for the other one, for the standard?
For the standard option with Showtime and Stars, it's $50 per month.
Well, can you get one without Showtime and Stars?
I don't know.
So it's actually costing you more because it's $39.99 a month if you got the cable box.
That's awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean,
$39.99.
that is something that I do want. I don't know that they're necessarily going the way that I would want it to do this, because I do want my TV, and in my personal opinion, I'm fine paying the normal rate for whatever it is to cost for my normal cable package. My problem, though, is that I want that TV to be accessed on any device that I have whatsoever, whether it be my computer, my iPhone, an iPad, my Android phone, an Android tablet, whatever it is. I want access to it more than just, their on-demand stuff that you can access on their application or website, and their live offerings.
Yeah.
Nobody does live TV quite right on the internet.
I really think 2016 is going to be the year for that we're going to see a lot of these traditional brands, traditional networks, traditional cable providers starting to tip their toe in a little deeper in the internet television access. There was also this week, it was reported that Star Trek, one of my favorites, is returning to TV, sort of kind of returned to TV in 2017. CBS announced that we're going to make a brand new Star Trek TV series that'll begin airing in January 2017. The corporation also shoved a big pile of money in the face of Star Trek and Into Darkness co-writer Alex Kurtzman to be in charge of the new series. But here's the bad news, guys. John, go into the bad news.
Yeah, this is actually great news that they're coming out with Star Trek, but there's a big caveat to this.
Yep, and it is, wait, drum roll. Go ahead.
It is that they're only airing the first episode on CBS. If you want to watch the rest of the series, you're going to have to subscribe to CBS's All Access program.
Now if you
which is an internet-only subscription thing.
But if you have cable, don't you get access to CBS Access?
I have no idea.
I don't think
you do. I don't think you do.
You don't. Well,
I don't think you do.
Let's see. If I'm
going to look this up right now.
Let me see. If I go to live TV on CBS's website,
you can get a 7-day trial.
Yeah, I guess you do need to subscribe. You can't.
Yeah, and it's $6 per month.
Yeah, so you got to pay $6 a month to watch Star Trek and whatever else that they have on demand. Full episode.
This is absolutely 100% a play for them to get people to sign up for their all access service.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
100%. It's just one of those things.
You're unable to play this because we're unable to load the message from our sponsors. If you're using an ad blocker software, they want me to actually remove my ad blocker software on top of this. And they want me to
because they still have ads.
And they still have ads. It's kind of disappointing, but I'm really glad to see that Star Trek is coming back. It really depends on the ratings. If the ratings are through the roof for Star Trek, they'll probably put it on TV.
It's very bittersweet that they're doing it this way because, and I know there's several people arguing that this is a great thing. This is something that everybody's been wanting forever, is for all this content to be streamed online. But it's just yet another service that you have to subscribe to. Yeah, it's only $6 per month, and some people might do that, but there's going to be a lot of people that, like myself, maybe like you, that have absolutely no care to subscribe to yet another, $6 or more service.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that there's going to be a new Star Trek TV series, that it's debuting in January of 2017, which is going to be the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, which is super cool. But then they had to go and do this sort of weird thing. And I know everybody has been asking for all this content to be streamed online, a la Netflix type of thing. And but I don't think the way that they're doing it is going to work because it's CBS and it's all access.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to work out.
I don't know, John.
I mean, people are like, well, it's got the entire back catalog. If you subscribe to it, you can watch the entire back catalog of all the CBS shows, including Star Trek, which makes it totally worth it.
Yeah.
Except if you already have Netflix, you can watch Deep Space Nine, you can watch Voyager, you can watch all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff is on there. I think this is... I'm curious to see how well they do with this, because this is the first time that we're seeing something like this, where they're dumping in big bucks for, a series like this on their own, for a network to do that. I think this is the first time that we're seeing this, and it's going to really speak volumes to see if this works. If it does work, it may be a good platform for shows that are on the verge of getting canceled to get another extra season or two on their all-access service.
Possibly.
Like the McCarthys.
I don't see it working out that way. Just
Yeah.
knowing the way that TV works, I just don't see that happening. Not only that, but I'm questioning whether or not CBS can pull this off to begin with. Not despite the fact that it's going to be on all access, whether or not CBS can produce a sci-fi show that people enjoy, because CBS is not necessarily known for sci-fi anymore. Most of the stuff that's popular on CBS now are crime dramas.
Crime dramas and sitcoms.
Not only that, but if you look at some of the stuff that's more sci-fi, like the show Scorpion or CSI Cyber, they do such a god-awful job of it.
Yeah.
That those two shows in particular are so god-awful that I don't even want to watch them. If it's anything like that, there is no way I'm going to be interested in Star Trek.
Well, we'll find out, right? We got another year and a half. And we're going to find out.
That's a long time.
Yeah. I'm a big Next Generation fan, so. All right, John.
Who isn't?
Who isn't a Captain Jean-Luc Picard fan? John, let's talk about Amazon. Amazon is going to be opening up their first physical bookstore in Seattle. We've seen this happen. Motorola opened up a store last week, which is bizarre. Amazon is going to be making up a bookstore. They're going to sell Kindles, Kindle Fires, and the top selling books in this store. Do you think this is going to be successful for them? Considering all the bookstores are shutting down due to Amazon, Barnes and Noble's, going.
It's Seattle. Who knows?
Yeah.
Seattle is completely different than the rest of the world. So what works in Seattle doesn't work everywhere.
What do you what are they going to sell other than books? Just books and Kindles?
Yes, that's it.
Very
Books
similar.
and Kindles.
Very similar to the.
But I mean,
the Barnes and Noble
Seattle
platform.
is Amazon's home, so they can kind of get away with doing this stuff. This is just them another thing that they're trying out.
Yeah.
They did the same day delivery in Seattle. They've also done the treasure truck, I think is what they called it, where they just had a truck full of popular Amazon items that would show up in random places.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that would only work in Seattle or places similar to Seattle that would never work anywhere else.
You're absolutely right. I'm curious to see how well this
That's the problem
does.
with this, is that you would have this maybe work in Seattle, maybe San Francisco, and maybe New York City. But I don't think stuff like this is going to work necessarily anywhere else.
Listen, you know what's amazing about Amazon? I'll tell you. In New York now, we have same-day delivery for products. Meaning, if I order something before noon, I could get it the same day by 6, 7 o'clock.
But see, this is what I'm saying.
That's
is that
unbelievable.
New York City is one of those cities where certain things work that will never work anywhere else.
Yeah, and you know what else is great?
Never see Amazon offer same-day delivery in every single city. There is no way they will ever offer same-day delivery in Detroit. Never.
I ordered a bunch of stuff on Amazon, and one of the items came with that, their carrier service, which is the same-day delivery. And the guy brought it to me, and I realized I had ordered the wrong thing. So when he showed up, I was like, no, actually, I don't want it. I ordered the wrong thing. And it automatically, I put in the refund through Amazon. As soon as the guy shut the door and I guess got in his car and said that I don't want it, guess what? The money was back in my account.
Wow.
I mean,
That's
seconds
crazy.
later. So Amazon is doing some really cool things. I don't think they're making any money from that carrier stuff because it's $5.99 if you have Prime to get it the same day. I can't imagine they're making any money from that, but it's a nice little way to get you into Amazon.
I just think it's fascinating that there's all these companies that think they can have their own retail store, Microsoft included, that it doesn't necessarily work the same way that Apple has.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Apple is just one of those rare cases where they can do this.
Well
And
worth.
even then, Apple doesn't have a store in most places.
No, they don't. John, talk about BlackBerry for a minute. You're the former BlackBerry guy, and they're able to do something cool that most Android phone makers cannot.
All right, so last week, BlackBerry officially announced their new phone called the Priv. It's going to be $699, which is okay. It's a slider phone and everything, but that's not the very interesting part of this. They also announced this week that BlackBerry can bypass carriers to deliver Android security fixes. The new Priv phone runs Android, a customized version of Android by BlackBerry. And multiple Android phone makers are promising monthly security updates, but there's no way for them to guarantee this because of the approval process from carriers. Apparently, BlackBerry has a way of delivering these updates that bypasses the carriers. So this is something that makes the BlackBerry Priv a very interesting option to people that are Android fans.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, look,
Is this
Android
enough?
has this big
Yeah.
problem. Google kind of admits that they have this problem of Android fragmentation, where there's a bunch of people running old versions, and the big holdup with people not getting the latest version of Android or patches of Android is because carriers take forever to test a new patch of Android. So you end up with this very fragmented market for Android. And you have
Yeah,
people
it's
running
extremely
old versions
fragmented.
of Android that they shouldn't be running.
No, it's extremely fragmented, and but oh, by the way, it's $600 something through BlackBerry. They are on Amazon. I'm sorry, not Amazon. AT&T is going to start carrying these phones. So
Yeah, it's a Priv. It's a slider phone running Android.
yeah, you're going to be able to get it on AT&T as well. I guess this is good, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for anybody to go buy this phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's my whole problem is who's gonna buy this phone other than people that still have a BlackBerry.
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably the most attractive thing about the BlackBerry Priv is that they're going to bypass the carrier to deliver updates directly to the phone.
You know what, John?
That's the most attractive thing about this.
I still know people that hang on to BlackBerry because they really like the physical keyboard. So if you're one of those people, guess what? This may be a perfect mix for you. You get
I read a
Android.
review today, and they said that the keyboard's all right, but it's not what you would expect from somebody like BlackBerry that had such a reign on physical keyboards.
Because they're not making the phones, right? They're no longer making
No.
the phones. Yeah. So
No, they're,
just like
they're developing the customized Android OS for it, and that's about it.
yeah. So it's like every other Android maker. They just have some company making the phone.
And it's just something to get them down the road in another 6 months, I think.
Yeah. And then we'll see what happens in 6
That's
months.
it. This is a yet another Hail Mary from BlackBerry.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they put this out. I'm surprised it's actually out.
I'm shocked that it's a real phone. Yeah.
I am too. And then, but I do love the fact that they're doing the Apple thing here, where they're bypassing carriers to deliver updates directly to customers. I absolutely love that, and I think that's a great move by BlackBerry.
I'm surprised that Samsung has not been able to negotiate that, considering what a powerhouse they are as far as smartphones go.
I think this is something that Google is going to have to solve and deal on the behalf of manufacturers, because ultimately Android is a product of Google. And if Google is not going to solve this problem, neither are the manufacturers.
Yeah,
the
you're absolutely right.
manufacturers don't care because they want you to buy the newest phone.
Every year.
So they don't care whether or not the carrier updates your phone to the latest version.
Yeah.
I mean, Samsung can create the update for your phone, but then it's still left in the hands of carriers, and they don't have an incentive really to care whether or not the carrier approves
Right.
it.
And you know what, John? That sucks.
Yes,
Everything sucks today. You know what doesn't
there
suck
was
this show?
a study done that said that something like 86% of Android users are vulnerable to a bunch of exploits, which is a very high number compared to iOS.
Well, I'll tell you something. I have noticed more updates being pushed out. Here's a great example, okay? I have the OnePlus phone, right? I don't have a carrier.
OnePlus is
how
sold.
am I getting these updates?
You're going to get it directly from
OnePlus.
OnePlus.
Okay, so they're one of the few that could actually push.
They don't sell it through the carrier.
Yeah.
They sell it from themselves, which was Google's original idea with Android, is that they were going to sell these phones by themselves, bypassing the carrier, and that didn't necessarily work.
I have been getting a lot more updates from Verizon on my Samsung, which is a good sign. Normally, you would get like one security fix, but I've gotten 2 or 3 updates probably since the last major version that they sent me of Android. So they are getting better at this. They're realizing that, hey, listen, we have to update these bugs.
They have a very long road ahead, though.
Oh yeah, but I'm quite surprised that I've gotten 2 updates already in the last 3 months, and normally this is not something that you see from Verizon. AT&T is a little better, but Verizon really likes to take their time with these updates. So it is starting to change. They are starting to get a little better at this, but when it comes to OS updates like Marshmallow for Android, I don't see this coming anytime soon.
No.
Yeah.
And that's a problem because there's a lot of malware out there, and there's a new one that I was reading about this week that's very invasive and extremely difficult to remove.
Yeah. All right, John. That was fun. I had fun with you today.
Oh, good.
You see that? We get together, we do a show. Guys, we're going to be back every Friday, 2 p.m. East here on the GF Key Network. You can catch it archived everywhere podcasts are available. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube page if you go on YouTube, because we need to change the name and you need 100 subscribers to change your name. So please subscribe to the YouTube page. You can follow me on Twitter at Andrew Zarin. You can follow John at Suncast. Of course, you can follow the GF Key Network at GF Key Network. Until next time, guys, take care and brush your hair. Bye-bye for now.